Hello, friends. Our next presenter today is a gentleman who is throwing a rather awesome thing that happens tomorrow. For those of you familiar with the city of Detroit and its doings, I would go as far as to espouse that this is one of the cooler, more awesome, quirky things that happens in Detroit. It's really, really neat, and it's called Marche du Nain Rouge. And Francis is going to come out here and talk about it. Give it up for Francis, everybody.
Hello, how are you? Are you ready for the Marche du Nain Rouge? Thank you. I look forward to seeing all of you tomorrow. I look forward to myself getting up tomorrow. But first, I am so happy to be here tonight and to be invited to speak to you. This is a new community to me, and it's something that I feel very welcomed in, and so I really appreciate the opportunity. Thank you. I'm going to talk to you a little bit about Marche du Nain Rouge, which literally means, who speaks French here? What does it mean?
March of the Red Dwarf.
March of the Red Dwarf. And what we're trying to do is grow a new tradition in Detroit. And it's based on something that is very old. As old as Cadillac. Well, another kind of Cadillac. Although that's a very pretty Cadillac. It's this guy. Antoine de la Mothe de Sœur de Cadillac, something like that. And it goes back to the beginning of the founding of the city, which is 1701, which is over 300 years ago. And this guy was sent over, possibly drunk or drinking, you know, that was definitely a big part of what was going on, by the French court to found a city in New France that would be called Detroit, which means the straits, the narrows, right? It just means of the straits, of the narrows. It's actually where the Detroit River is, and the banks of the Detroit River. And he was warned before he actually arrived about this thing, this demon, this spirit called the Nain Rouge. A fortune teller in, I can't remember if it was Quebec or Montreal, but somewhere further east, warned him to not offend the Nain Rouge. And of course, he did. And thus began over 300 years of cursing and terrible things. And this is the earliest depiction of the Nain Rouge that I've been able to find. It's from a 19th century text by a woman who wrote about the legends of Detroit, including the Nain Rouge. And one of the interesting things about the Nain Rouge is we don't really know a whole lot about the Nain Rouge, and he's been depicted in various ways. These are more recent. A hobgoblin, a lutin, which is a French goblin, a red cap. These are lots of different sort of ideas about what the Nain Rouge is. This is a cute Nain Rouge. So what did we do? Well, in 2010, we introduced the Nain Rouge back to Detroit in something called the Marche du Nain Rouge. It's kind of based on history, it's kind of made up, but it basically is an excuse to ask a question, what if? What if Detroit had Mardi Gras, right? Why doesn't Detroit have Mardi Gras? It's actually older than New Orleans. And what if we use this story as kind of a touch point, as a place to start? So we create this character based on another description of a rotten-toothed, childlike imp with furry boots that dances on rooftops and taunts Detroiters. And he comes every year as part of an annual tradition that coincides with the beginning of spring. It was just spring yesterday, actually, right? Are we happy about that? Yeah. The Nain Rouge comes every year to taunt Detroiters, and he comes sometimes dressed for success. I'm back, losers. He's run for emergency manager. He's come in his flight suit with his communist star, a la George W. Bush on the flight deck of Mission Accomplished. That was almost Mission Accomplished. Sorry about that. And he's even come on the back of one of your friends, Gan Kurin, the fire-breathing dragon. This was last year. And I actually met this great guy, Doyle Huge, last year here. And he provided Gan Kurin, and he's going to bring something much different this year. So he's also come to meet the spirit of Coleman Young Jr., where he was arrested and put in the back of a powder blue Cadillac. And really, what is the opposite of the Nain Rouge, or what we are pushing to promote, is a positive response of the citizens of the city of Detroit. This is the Mosaic youth choir that came out in support of Detroit. Even though the Nain Rouge was going on vacation because we were so pathetic. Devin Skillian responded that year in kind. The Nain Rouge, one year, couldn't pay his parking ticket, or pay for the parking for the dragon, and a police officer had to escort the dragon off. He was looking for change. We've grown over the last few years in the media. We've been in Metro Times, the Free Press. We've been on television, on the cover of Metro Times a few times. We've even had behind-the-scenes interviews. Huffington Post. This was very funny. This was last year during the polar vortex, and this guy, Brandon Rue, he observed that it would be very cold for the Marche du Nain Rouge, and it was Rue on Rue violence that day. We've had a number of different media opportunities, which has been wonderful. Really, to me, the most important opportunity is that it creates an opportunity for expression. And these are images of how people come. And the idea is that you do not come as you are. You come as you once were or yet could be. And the reason you do that is because you don't want the Nain Rouge to recognize you. You come as boxed wine. You dress up in large alien heads and as larger half-human horse people. And you come representing the spirit of the city, and you come playing instruments, and you come in a different identity. And you use the environment of the city. The steam creates these opportunities for interesting visual effects and color. You come to defend your city and have fun in your city. This is a great example of something that we want to grow, and we've been working very closely with Ralph Taylor and Caribbean Mardi Gras Productions. You come to make a political statement about how all the buildings downtown are getting bought up. And you come in wonderful color and carnival dress. Nice. Here's a picture of people turning the corner from Canfield onto Cass. and Damian Gabriel and Gabriel Brass Band, which is a wonderful New Orleans-inspired local act. This is from the first year, and from one of my friends who really went overboard and had a wonderful pick at the end. So, we've grown. You like that? Another big part of what we try to do is present and support Detroit business. And we call that prepare le Nain semaine. We're terrible French speakers, but and we really want people to go out and spend in the local community and recycle dollars. And this, you know, this is significant for a community, and it can grow beyond the blocks that line the parade route. Over time, we see this as growing into a citywide event. It's been merchandised at local businesses. People love creating and using the image of the Nain Rouge in all sorts of ways. There's a cocktail at the top of the Renaissance Center called the Nain Rouge. This year, the Nain is shoplifting his own T-shirt and enjoying some Thai food. Extra spicy. We have a lot of sponsors, and we need more, but it's the lifeblood of what we do. And we have a wide range of sponsors. MDI, Midtown Detroit Inc. has been there from the very beginning. They've been wonderful to work with. And we've even had partner events. There was a dodgeball tournament last year. Recycle Here has been our host for the banner painting. This is all recycling, and the Nain Rouge is making sure that it's happening right. The cute Nain Rouge is part of a national, I can't remember what it was called, but it was all of the local urban folklorish creatures, and they were all depicted as these kind of cartoon-like characters. The Masonic Temple is where the big after party is. That's a graphic novel. The Detroit Party Marching Band, that's Ralph Taylor. Gabriel Brass Band, Signal Return, Detroit Bikes. We've done a run. Midtown and Cityscape have been our fiduciaries. And where we will go, we say fun, weird, current, sustainable. Marche du Nain Rouge is Detroit's Mardi Gras meets Burning Man, Afro-Caribbean infused community art happening, or something like that. This is just words. We've done some workshops, neighborhood workshops. We want to get neighborhoods involved this year so that we can take what was and is so vital in places like New Orleans and Burning Man and Carnival to create something Detroit. This is in Detroit last year. This is in Detroit last year. This is in Detroit this year. Thank you. Oh, and there's a special party of the several after parties. There's cards out here. Go to TV Lounge. It's one of the newest after parties. Just 2 blocks away. Thank you.
So a hug would be like, wanna hug me?
No, yeah.
It's like slightly lower.